prior to the 19th century, it was thought that Genesis of the Old Testament contained the oldest material of literature in the entire known world. In particular, the narratives about the Great Flood and the Tower of Babel. Sometime during the 19th century, archaeologists, in an effort to find the cities mentioned in the Bible, found something completely different and far more fascinating. What they found all over Mesopotamia are cuneiform tablets. Some of these tablets predated the biblical timeline of creation itself, and the contents of these tablets were shocking. In 1961, Samuel Noah Kramer, a Assyriologist, translated a text known as Enki in the World Order, which seems to be a textual ancestor to the Tower of Babel story. Here's what it says. Sumer, great mountain, land of heaven and earth, trailing glory, bestowing powers on people from sunrise to sunset. Your powers are superior powers, untouchable, and your heart is complex and inscrutable. Like heaven itself, your good creative force, in which gods too can be born, is beyond reach, giving birth to kings who put on the good diadem, and giving birth to lords who wear the crown on their heads. Your Lord, the honored Lord, sits with Anu, the King of Heaven. Your King, the great mountain, Father Enlil, the father of all the lands, has blocked you impenetrably like a cedar tree. The Anunnaki, the great gods, have taken up dwellings in your midst and consumed their food, Geguna, in your shrines with their single trees. Household Sumer, may your sheepfolds be built and your cattle multiply. May your Geguna touch the skies. May your good temples reach up to heaven. May the Anunnaki determine the destinies in your midst. The mysterious Anunnaki mentioned in that text are described as determining destiny. Who are these mysterious Anunnaki? Are these the Nephilim mentioned in Genesis? Let's find out. Hello, explorers of the ancient world and initiates into the mysteries. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you won't miss out on our journeys into the fascinating tales of the past. Today, we're embarking on a captivating expedition into the heart of ancient mythology and biblical lore, delving deep into the tales of the enigmatic Anunnaki and the mysterious Nephilim. The Anunnaki, powerful deities from ancient Sumerian mythology, are said to have shaped our world, influenced kings, and controlled the fate of humanity. Their stories have fascinated us, leading to varied interpretations and even some modern, controversial conspiracy theories. And then there are the Nephilim, the giants of the Old Testament, the sons of God, fallen angels, mighty warriors, heroes of old, or perhaps all of the above. Their brief but intriguing mention in the Bible have given rise to countless interpretations and debates. Are there connections between these two groups of ancient beings? Were they celestial, terrestrial, or maybe even extraterrestrial? Today, we separate fact from fiction and history from myth, guided by archaeology, linguistics, and the valuable work of countless scholars. So buckle up and join us on this exciting journey into the realm of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. It's time to uncover the secrets of the ancients. Let's dive in. The Anunnaki are a group of deities that appear in the mythological traditions of ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. They are among the earliest pantheons in Mesopotamian mythology. In Sumerian textual corpus, the term Anunnaki often refers to deities in the broadest sense. However, more specifically, it often designates a group of gods associated with the underworld, where they are said to decree the fates of humanity. One of the significant mythological narratives involving the Anunnaki is found in the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's oldest known works of literature. In the epic, Gilgamesh meets the spirit of his friend Enkidu in the underworld, where the Anunnaki act as judges in the underworld who set laws for the cosmos. Gilgamesh lamented. 7 days and 7 nights he wept for Enkidu, until the worm fastened on him. Only then he gave him up to the earth. For the Anunnaki, the judges, had seized him. Tablet 8, Epic of Gilgamesh. Then, in Tablet 9 of the Epic of Gilgamesh, it says, "The sleeping and the dead, how alike are they? They are like a painted death. What is there between the master and the servant when both have fulfilled their doom? When the Anunnaki, the judges, come together, and Mametun, the mother of destinies, together they decree the fates of men. Life and death they allot, but the day of death they do not disclose." Finally, in Tablet 11, we get the story of the Great Flood sent by Enlil, which says, "The Anunnaki lifted up the torches, setting the land ablaze with their flare. Stunned shock over Adad's deeds overtook the heavens, and turned to blackness all that had been light. The land shattered like a pot. All day long the south wind blew, blowing fast, submerging the mountain in water, overwhelming the people like an attack. No one could see his fellow. They could not recognize each other in the torrent. The gods were frightened by the flood and retreated, ascending to heaven of Anu. The gods were cowering like dogs, crouching by the outer wall. Ishtar shrieked like a woman in childbirth. The sweet-voiced mistress of the gods wailed. The olden days have alas turned to clay, because I said evil things in the assembly of the gods. How could I say evil things in the assembly of the gods, ordering a catastrophe to destroy my people? No sooner have I given birth to my dear people than they'll fill the sea like so many fish." The gods of the Anunnaki were weeping with her. The gods humbly sat weeping, sobbing with grief, their lips burning, parched with thirst. 6 days and 7 nights came the wind and flood, the storm flattening the land. When a 7th day arrived, Utnapishtim sent forth a dove and released it. The dove went off. I, Utnapishtim, sent forth a dove and released it. The dove went off, but came back to me. No perch was visible, so it circled back to me. I sent forth a swallow and released it. The dove went off, but came back to me. No perch was visible, so it circled back to me. I sent forth a raven and released it. The raven went off, and saw the waters slithered back. Now compare that text to the genesis of Noah and the flood. After 40 days, Noah opened up a window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove could find nowhere to perch because there was water all over the surface of the earth, so it returned to Noah in the ark. He reached out his hand and took the dove and brought it back to himself in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove from the ark. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew that the water had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again, but this time it did not return to him. In both cases, Noah and Utnapishtim are told by a god to build an ark, load it with animals, and they both wait an additional 7 days after the flood to send off doves and ravens to check for land.